lime juice. And then sprinkle a bunch of turmeric on it. And then a bunch of salt. Mix it in. So this turmeric and lime. Turmeric, lime and salt. What do you do after that? How long do you have to leave it for? From minimum 15-20 minutes to a day, 2 days. It doesn't really matter. It depends on how long when you want to cook. The fish marinating. Coriander, finely chopped. Curry leaves. Red chilies, chopped. Garlic, chopped. Ginger chopped, fish curry powder and turmeric, freshly squeezed lime juice, and this is for the presentation. When it's all cooked, we sprinkle ginger, thinly sliced, chilies, the rind of a lime and some petals of coriander. Right, the pan's been heating up for 5 minutes. Always heat up the pan before you put the oil in. Don't be afraid of the oil. It's quite a, well, that's a lot of oil, but that's perfect. Line up the pan with the oil. Step back a bit. Throw in the onions. Increase the heat. Onions are in. I'm just going to go and grab something here. A couple of curry leaves. Not too many. And then blend that all together. So we need to fry this now for about 5-10 minutes. So we'll come back when it's a little bit brown. The idea is to get the onions not totally brown, but not like that. Right, as you can see, the onions are just turning brown, and unlike a conventional curry where you want quite dark brown onions for the colour, with the fish curry we don't. So the first thing we do is throw in the garlic. That goes in there. Then we throw in the ginger. Now, I've got that totally the wrong way around because that was the ginger I threw in first. So the ginger and garlic go in there. Then go the chilies. That's quite a lot of chilies there, but I've got quite a lot of fish and my audience want it hot. So I'm going to make it hot. So zazz it all up, keep it moving, don't burn anything now. Critical. You can smell that. If you had smell-o-vision, you could smell that. That's gorgeous. Again, don't overdo it. Right, I'm quickly going to stir this. If you want to put your camera here, you can see I'm not being crazy because over here is a vegetable curry which needs stirring. So I've got to be quick because I need to pay full attention to this side. Here we go, that's zuzzed up nicely. Once all the lovely chilies and the ginger and the garlic have had a chance to get slightly roasted, then goes in the dry spices, which is the turmeric and a fish curry powder. You don't need that really, you can go straight for turmeric if you wanted to. There it goes. And zuzz it up. Not too much now, this is where you could spoil the whole curry by burning the dry spices, so you can turn the heat down a little bit. and I'm actually holding it off the flames to reduce the... Now when I smell them slightly burning, this whole aroma changes. We go for the lime juice. There it goes. Hear that zuzzing? And a few seconds later goes the coconut milk. Now, we didn't talk about this earlier, but there it goes.
How much you put in?
With that amount of fish, I'm going to put half of this packet in. There it goes. At the same time goes the coriander. Put all the coriander in because I've reserved some. And oh yeah, that's pretty pungent. Selectively take your lime rind and chuck it in there. I'm still keeping these. These are going to go in when it's all finished. Now we can turn the heat up a little bit. And we've got to simmer this for about 5 minutes, that's all. Nothing more.
Put the fish in.
Before I put the fish in. Now have a quick look at the fish. Room temperature. Don't put it in the fridge. If you've got 2 hours, that can stay outside room temperature. Especially in England. So we want to bring that to the boil and let it simmer. So right now we're going to add a bunch of salt. Again, don't be frightened with the salt. Put it in, zazz it up, and then I'm going to grab that friend of mine there, dip it in. Perfect. Slightly undersalted because we've put salt in the marinade already.
How much longer before you put the fish in?
When it starts boiling, I'm going to give it 5 minutes of boiling. Right. So we want to keep it in this state, still rotating for 5 minutes. 10 minutes isn't a bad thing either. It's up to you. If you think you've got too much liquid in there for the amount of fish, then you can boil it a little bit longer. The fish only needs 5 minutes. So this is the most important stage now. Remember, the fish is already coated in turmeric, so I haven't gone crazy with the turmeric here.
Yeah, it looks quite coconutty.
Yeah, it's quite coconutty, but once the fish goes in, it will go pretty yellow. Right, this has had 5 minutes of boiling. Everything's infused, and now we're going to add the fish. Now the fish has already been marinating in lime juice, a little bit of salt and turmeric. You could leave this in your fridge for 2 days if you wanted to.
It would taste better.
Yeah. And there's already a bit of liquid there, and it's just gently put it in. Today I'm using perca, which in England they're called coley. It's a good strong white fish, but it's got to be said, the best fish to use in a fish curry, monkfish. Monkfish is the best. Problem with monkfish is it's very expensive, so you can get away with using coley or other strong-bodied white fish. You don't want to use cod. Cod will just break down and flake up. Now, from the previous vigorous goings on, we're going to be really gentle now. We'll bring up the heat because as soon as we put the fish in, the whole temperature has gone down. So we blast up the heat to bring it back to the boil very quickly. And then all it needs is to simmer for 5 to 10 minutes and it's ready. But you don't want to serve straight away. Let it mellow in the juices for yet another 10 minutes. No, you don't. initially you do until it comes to the boil. Let's put this down. We're just waiting for the boil with a bit more heat. If it's monkfish, you can be a little bit more aggressive with it. But because we're using a slightly gentler fish, I'm just going to move it around. Now's another good time to test the salt. Perfect. Keep scraping the edges of the pan because that's where all the thickness is. There we go. A nice even boil. Now I'm going to turn it down. Let that right down.
How long does it need now?
Now 5 minutes. And just to help it simmer nicely, we put the lid on. 5 minutes later, we take these ingredients here, put them on the top, and then you can present it straight to the table. Right, here we go. Bubbling away. Give it a final stir. Gently, does it?
Where's my big dog? Hi!
And now we decorate it. There we go.
Where's the rest stuff?
Coriander goes first. You can switch it off now. Switch off the heat. Then strips of beautiful ginger. Not enough in my opinion. There we go. And then finally the chilies. Voila!
Nice.
And finally, one thing I forgot,